You know what? I was so busy last week, I forgot to read the questions. So let me read this. Here's another person giving me shit about Bill's fake news Delta rant. Billy, fake fucking news. I was listening to your podcast from last Monday as I was sitting on a Delta flight heading to Los Angeles from Austin, Texas. Was that pertinent to the fucking story? And one of your readers brought up the Delta Airlines incident where a dad was threatened to get kicked off and jailed if he didn't stop complaining and fall in line. As I was listening to your useless fucking rant, still a huge fan, I noticed how uninformed both you and your reader were on the situation. All right, time out here. First of all, if you guys are going to come at me with uninformed and fake news, are you new to the podcast? I don't read. I just commented on 4 fucking series I've probably watched 3 minutes in. My job is to make you laugh. It's not to get facts. What the fuck you think you're listening to here, sir? I could have easily Googled that and figured out what I was talking about. Don't come at me like you're some sort of Rhodes Scholar. Like I'm impressed that you're going from Los Angeles to Austin, Texas. Are you going to keep it weird, man, when you get to Austin, Texas? Austin, Texas is one of the most overrated, overpopulated fucking cities in this goddamn country. You know why? Because LA cunts like you keep moving there. Well, actually, if you did your research, you'd realize that I'm not from L.A., nor am I from Austin. Let me tell you something, buddy. I don't give a fuck where you're from. The mere fact that you're dumb enough to try to get fucking accurate information from this podcast, and you think that I'm uninformed. I used to do a radio show called Uninformed with Better Call Saul's breakout star, Joe DeRosa, the teen idol sensation from the now defunct Opie and Anthony program. That's what really broke up Opie, Anthony, and Jimmy. It was the sheer star power of Joe DeRosa coming in once every 16 weeks. They just all had to go their separate ways because when they came back into the studio, when they looked at one another, all they could be reminded of was the force of Joe DeRosa's talent. All right, you want to look that one up there? Going on your flight from L.A. to Austin? He said, as I was listening, blah, 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 blah. Okay. I know. Okay. First, the seat that the dad was bitching about being sold to another passenger was actually his 18-year-old son's seat. All right. Now, where did you get this? At Delta.com? Because they're not, I don't trust these guys either. I don't trust you either. How do I know you're not fucking Eddie Delta? Son of Ulysses Delta, who fucking started the airline, who he put on an earlier flight by buying a separate ticket instead of notifying Delta that he was changing his son's flight to an earlier flight. Doing this, he thought he could magically have an open seat to him for his toddler, who is under 2, but that wasn't the case. Jesus, this guy's spreading the semen out, huh? He's got an 18-year-old and a toddler. There you go, buddy. Keep banging away. You see, when you decide to put your son, don't fucking go, you see, like you're fucking talking down to me, you dumb cunt. All you did was research it. My job, sir, is to make people laugh. That's it. My job is not to fucking, I don't have fucking time to figure shit out. What am I, still in school? I got in this business to not have a job. I'm not going to sit here and research your guys' fucking emails. I don't care what you write to me, unless it sounds totally ridiculous. I'm going to treat him as law. I've also flown a lot, and I've noticed that they don't give a fuck about you. I remember one time I was on a flight, and they had the intercom on so goddamn loud, you needed like earplugs. And I said to the stewardess, I go, is there any way you can turn that down a little bit? And she just goes, no, I'm sorry, sir. There's nothing we can do about it. It's like you're telling me that they installed an intercom system without a volume knob, and it was at full blast? That's what you're telling me? Sir, why are you being difficult? I'm not being difficult. All right, with your fucking crooked toes. All right, you see, when you decide to put your son on an earlier flight by buying another ticket while not telling Delta, they assume that the 18-year-old son did not make it on his original flight because he didn't check in, and they weren't notified that the dad bought a completely separate ticket. So they gave the seat away to a standby passenger per standard protocol. Also, FAA regulation disallows a child under 2 to sit in a standard seat without the proper child seat and harness. So there's another thing the dad got wrong. You can't have a child with a different name sit in a seat that he sold to your 18-year-old son. All right, fair enough. Imagine all the issues this would cause if we allowed for anyone to use any ticket that was issued in someone else's name. His mistake was that he didn't check in and notify Delta and should have paid the change fee to send his son on an earlier flight with the same ticket and then buy another ticket for his toddler if he had the proper safety harness for the toddler. Tickets are not transferable to another passenger. I'm not defending the flight attendant who I thought said some things that were inappropriate by threatening jail, etc. That's really what I was commenting on, buddy. All right, that they're sitting there acting like you did something in the Pentagon. However, the dad was completely wrong to think he can somehow put his oldest son on an earlier flight home and then use his original ticket. Well, this guy, he's got an 18-year-old and a 2-year. He's too busy fucking without a condom to research all of this. How about having a little empathy for him, sir, on your Los Angeles to Austin flight? Fucking jackass. What is the oldest son's, okay. However, the dad was completely wrong to think he could somehow put his oldest son on an earlier flight home and then use his original ticket, which is in his oldest son's name. How many times are you going to say the same thing? On the 2-year-old toddler, so he or she can sit in that seat if Delta knew blah, blah, blah. Just wanted to clear up your fake news rant, you misinformed cunt. Oh, God. Everything's fake news, is it? It wasn't fake news, sir. It was just me trying to make you fucking laugh, okay? That's all it was, okay? I'm glad you researched and cleared all of that up. At the end of the day, I'm just here to make you laugh, okay? So please, people, for the love of God, all right? And stop acting like, I can't do what you just did. Okay, girl stabs boyfriend and avoids jail time because it would damage her career. Now, what am I supposed to do here, sir? Am I really supposed to fucking sit here and research this as if someone's going to go to jail with the jokes that I do? Or should I just take it at loss so I can get on with my fucking life? Here's the deal. Why don't you be the fact police, all right? I'll do the rant the next week. You can correct me. That was my uninformed show I did with Joe DeRosa. We'd just pick a topic, we'd go off on it, we'd be completely wrong, and then we'd bring an expert in. That was literally the show. People would learn things, and there was laughs to be had.